Confusion continues at Atlanta's Morehouse College. First, the Board of Trustees at the historically black college decided not to renew President John Wilson's contract in January. Then, last month, the faculty passed a vote of no confidence in the Board of Trustees chairman, Robert Davidson, noting in an open letter, "We believe that the erratic behavior of the board under the leadership of Chairman Davidson is threatening to imperil the long-term viability of the institution, as well as the college's ability to carry out its extraordinary mission and to serve her exceptional students." The accrediting group, the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges, will also be conducting an investigation. They say it is not meant to punish the college, but to, quote, get its practices in line with the principles of the accreditor. Now, the Student Government Association of Morehouse has released a statement outlining a number of issues and their planned meeting with the Board of Trustees scheduled for this weekend. Joining us from Atlanta is the Morehouse Student Government Association President John Hill. I went over a few highlights, but we know there's more to this controversy. What's really going on down there at Morehouse?
Well, one, good morning. Thank you for having me on the call. I really appreciate this opportunity to speak. But what's really going
Jonathan,
on,
before we move ahead, what year are you at Morehouse?
Graduating senior, born and raised in Washington, D.C.
Ah, all right, all right. Well, we won't punish you for not going to Howard and choosing Morehouse. I firmly believe in students taking care of their institution. So seriously, what's going on down there?
So essentially, we're in a situation where students right now, we're just fighting to be heard. As you can now see, or as you've been seeing in the news media, I sent out a recent message to the Morehouse College community regarding questions of shared governance and board leadership, which I personally believe as a student or from the student leader's perspective is sort of kind of taken away from my ability to answer great questions that Morehouse College has to be able to answer in the time of both great international and national need. We have to demonstrate to the outside community that, one, we as an institution celebrating black male excellence for 150 years continues to stand strong. We'll continue to answer those questions for the next 150 years. And until we're able to get away from the conversations of a power struggle between our chairman and our president of the college, then we aren't going to be able to answer those institutional priorities or have the student-centered conversations and discussions that we need to move the college forward.
So I'm joking when I'm about to call him a little Malcolm X, but I'm joking. But this all must be pretty important to you, particularly your senior year, to be this involved. Where exactly do you feel that the board and the university as a whole are falling short? Like, give me 3 things that you could point to that the student body says that they are doing wrong.
No problem. One of the first things that I think that the board sort of or at least the college is doing wrong is the lack of transparency, right? One, that the president of SACS, our accrediting authority, has already come to the college and meet with a group of concerned faculty is a problem, because in that same conversation, she has said that, one, our board has violated many things that SACS seems as priorities for an institution, whether it comes to governance, lack of shared governance, or the size of our board. 2, our faculty has now passed a vote of no confidence in our board chairman. That's not something that we need to take lightly when we're talking about 2 of the most important constituency bases are now asking questions to the leaders of our institutions. And lastly, I would just say that your students, the students are impacted. We're the ones that are on campus day to day. I don't know if many people realize it, but, outside of 830 Westview Drive, which is Morehouse College's address, black men aren't valued the same. Oftentimes people are asking, why do Black Lives Matter? In 450 years, Morehouse has been able to answer the question why. We can't sort of get distracted from the mission of the institution now and take away from the opportunity for the next generation of leaders to see how great Morehouse is and what Morehouse has done for us. So
I'm going to turn it over to the panel real quickly. So Spencer and gentlemen on my panel, President Obama was the commencement speaker at Morehouse several years ago, gave one of the best speeches I think that we have ever seen him give when he spoke at the university. This is sort of sad. We're seeing a lot of discontent in HBCUs all across the country. Right. Spencer, what do you think this foretells for the future?
This, frankly, is natural in terms of it colleges all over the country, right? Boards and administration and faculties and students kind of work through issues in terms of trying to figure out the future of their institution. I believe that that's going on at Morehouse right now. As a Hampton graduate, you as a Howard graduate, we recognize that, if Morehouse fails or falls back, we all do, yes. Right? There's trouble for all of us. So, I am definitely rooting for them, and I think that they're going to, make it through this tough time.
Let me ask you, what do you think about the fact that the accrediting agency is getting involved? Because this is what really bothers me. We've talked about it here at NewsOne Now before. There has been a move towards the end of the Obama administration, once we knew who the incoming president was going to be, for states across the country, I believe particularly in North Carolina, to find ways to begin to dismantle HBCUs, which, historically, these are the institutions that serve our communities.
Sure.
Why would an accrediting agency get involved in this dispute?
Well, Michelle, when you look at SACS, which really has more control over most of our HBCUs, when you look at middle states, not the one which Howard is, these accrediting boards intervened in the days of Jim Crow to kind of supervise these black schools. And since the end of the Jim Crow era, HBCUs have been really having a real internal war over the future. So this isn't unusual, but I do think it is distinct from the historically white colleges. And so, SACS, in the 150th anniversary of Morehouse, happy birthday, brother, we sharing that at Howard,
Happy birthday,
absolutely. You can come up here for law school too, brother president. You know that, man. We talk about this. But we see HBCU leadership struggling with HBCU boards over the future of our historically black colleges. So these trustee battles with the presidency, and John Wilson is an academic of the first rank. Obama was only down there because Wilson was his head of his HBCU. And, I don't know how good a speech he gave, because Obama seems to get real critical when he starts talking to black men about pulling up their pants, but that's another conversation. I really wonder what is the future of our black colleges if we don't come together on a shared vision. And I think that's the issue. And I wonder, John, what's your vision, brother? What would you like to see ideally? What would be the future for Morehouse and our black colleges generally? And would you be willing to run one when you get out of graduate school?
I appreciate that question. One, as any young black man would tell you, that we all have great dreams, right? And the thing about it is, one part of my dreams was never to attend Morehouse. I didn't choose Morehouse first. I transferred in as a sophomore, which goes to show that my love for the institution is a little bit different and my perspective is a little bit different. Of course, I believe that Morehouse should be around for the next 150 years. Of course, I believe that Howard University needs to be around for the next 100 HBCUs continue to do something different for our young students of color, and we've continued to sort of kind of promote not only just excellence, but what it means to be black and excellent in a space of higher education. I think that right now we sort of kind of have to force those awkward conversations between our students, our faculty, our alumni, and our boards, because we're a family at the end of the day. And I think that's one of the things that has sort of kind of been taken away from this all. We aren't talking about the students, like we aren't talking about our faculty, like we aren't talking about the day-to-day things that sort of kind of being affected by these major, large conversations. I think that, in regards to the president's contract, like that's incidental to the major picture at hand. And like, I have to say that because, one, now we're having, students who are looking at Morehouse, who are thinking about Morehouse, starting to question whether that's where they want to come, or parents questioning, is that where they want to send their children? And that's the same conversation that many parents are having for all HBCUs, and that's not positive. Like, that alone is saying that, like, we're going to send our students elsewhere to all these PWIs. That's where all the money is going, as though that our own institutions can't take care of ourselves or our own people.
Well,
that's wrong.
Our institutions better get it together, because if parents are thinking this, that accrediting agencies and non-African American universities and governors and across the country are saying, do we really need HBCUs? Anyway, thank you, Morehouse Student Government Association President Jonathan Hill. Good luck with your graduation.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not gonna let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.